Welcome to the exciting video presentation of the popular art glittering system products, demonstrated by the creator, Barbara Trombley, founder of the Art Institute. In the next 90 minutes, Barbara will show you how to send your stamp art into three-dimensional outer space. Welcome to the exciting video presentation of the popular art glittering system products, demonstrated by the creator, Barbara Trombley, founder of the Art Institute. In the next 90 minutes, Barbara will show you how to send your stamp art into three-dimensional outer space using her beautiful ultra-fine glitter colors that are designed to coordinate with each other, her specialized writing bottle and industrial strength adhesives, and her all-new 3D Embossit product for the non-glitter look. Learn different rainbow glittering techniques. Also learn how to create personalized greeting cards. Enhance your stamp art with all the colors of the rainbow and much more with these amazing products. The Art Institute address and telephone number will be repeated at the end of the video, making it easy and convenient for you to get more information on how to order these wonderful glitter products. Now, let's enter the sparkling world of glitter with Barbara Trombley.
Hi, I'm Barbara from the Art Institute. Would you like to produce dazzling rubber stamp art like this and also personalize your cards and gifts and wrappings? I'm going to teach you from my 12 years of experience using the art glittering system. I'll show you what works and doesn't work. I'll show you how to get control from your tools. I'll show you how to fix your mistakes. It's a forgiving method, easy and fast. The way I got into this business was by doing my own Christmas cards, each year in a different media. One year I used the chunky glitter from the dime store, and I got a lot of feedback. I got an order for 50 cards. In 1984, I published my first card and took some around to the alternative card shops and got some orders. Since then, we've expanded the color selection from 12 to 125 colors. Although we still use the same industrial strength calligraphy adhesive, we now have different sizes of bottles. There are so many things you can work on. Today we're going to show you how to do some of those things. Are you ready for a glitter party? Let's go. This is how your glue bottle comes at the store. It comes with the bottle, the coupler, a tip, and a nut. The top off the bottle, put the tip on the coupler, and assemble the nut. Once you get the nut on there, tighten it just a little bit more before you put it on the bottle. And then tighten the nut a little bit more. If it leaks from here or from here, it means you just need to tighten it a little more. For the art glittering system, you need glitter trays, you need a cloth. These are nudgers. You need a spoon that is slightly pointed and maybe it has a deep bowl. Doesn't matter what size, you can use a small one or a large one. And a pin to clear your tip of any kind of clogs or debris. Now let's show you how to do some rainbow techniques. This is a vertical rainbow. You can smear the underscore if you like. Take a little bit off the tip of the spoon and let it fall down, slightly overlapping each color. Now I'm letting it cover all sides of that adhesive because it's three-dimensional adhesive. It will dry permanently flexible. The glitter won't come off. Let's try a horizontal rainbow. Now, I'm pressing down on that paper. You can see how that paper indents? Because you need to press the tip into the paper to get control over the bottle. With this rainbow, you want to take a little bit off the tip of the spoon. Just a little bit. Just maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm going to turn it around and come over to the purple tray. I'm coming in toward the center. Isn't that a wonderful rainbow? Another rainbow I call Euro rainbow. I demonstrated at the gift shows in Europe, and they wanted all colors every which way. So we put on a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. Twisting the card in your wrist. Now, my spoon hit this right here. So what you do is you take your nudger and you just push that back into place. Cleans up your mistakes. Another way to glitter is do the word in all one color. See, I keep wiping my tip. And then maybe break in. You can add a little heart or a star. My neighbor just had a new baby, so I made her a baby card. I'll show you how I did it. First, I stamped these little universes. It's a little baby boy. I came off the page with that. His name is Marlon Anthony. Because it's a boy, we'll do it in boy colors. So I picked 2 different blues and a green. Now, this is another way of glittering where you stripe on the same color 2 or 3 different places. And we'll put this blue right down the middle of that blank spot. And you can flood your entire glitter area with another color. So instead of having a rainbow of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, we're just having 2 colors of blue and 1 green. Now let's do the inside. Wonderful what rubber stamping does. Gives you design right away. We'll put the baby's birth date on. Again, we're going to rainbow stripe it in using the blues and the greens. This is industrial strength adhesive, and it really grabs the glitter, so your colors don't mix as much as they would with other adhesives. But look what a beautiful little card this is. I want to show you how to hold the bottle and get your eye, hand, and mind coordination. First, the bottle rests at the knuckle of the middle finger with the pointer behind it, and in between the knuckles and the joint of the pointer finger. The thumb applies the pressure to the back of the fingers. We aren't squeezing with both sides of the bottle. I'm going to approach horizontally. This is a full bottle of adhesive. Now, tip down, and this is how I want you to start. Without squeezing, I want you to glide your bottle across the tip of the card. You'll get a little skipping. The bottle angle is about 1:30 on the clock. 2:30 is too low, 12 o'clock is too high. Now, do you see how the tip is pushing that paper down? You need to push into the paper just like you would be writing with a pen. It's that friction that gives you control on your bottle. So, we're going across the page like that, and then I want you to add just a wee bit more pressure to your bottle to try to get a smooth, unbroken line of adhesive. The thinnest you can get. Then add more pressure and more pressure to see how wide of a line you can get out of the same bottle. These little skips are great for smoke out of a car, let's say. But if you really need a thick line, you can still get it out of the same bottle as well as a thin line. Now we're going to start with the mistake-proof project. This is one of the Art Institute's published stocks, but you can brayer in a background or spray a background in with your airbrushing. We're going to work with the crystal glitter, which is the easiest thing for you to start with, because it's mistake-proof. You can't see any of the mistakes once it's dry. This is dry as clear adhesive, so don't worry about how exactly you get it on. I'm following the outline of the heart. Then I'm going to do little horseshoes. Now, they're not running horseshoes. They're exactly upside-down U's that follow the line. I keep turning the card as I go. Now, if you're not as fast as I am going, glitter half of this. It's very important to get the glitter on the adhesive before the adhesive gets a skin on it. Well, it's very wet. See, we don't want to do the whole card. We just want to get the glitter on. Now, if you want to, you can draw little straight lines like this. That may be more difficult for some people. So, do wavy lines. That's much easier. Remember, don't squeeze very much. All the way up the card. Okay, I'm crisscrossing it, breaking right through. I'm pushing down through that paper. I can feel the surface of the paper on that tip. We're going to flood the entire surface with glitter. Now, because this is a transparent glitter, we're going to let this dry completely before we go forward. I did another one in advance, so we wouldn't have to let it dry. But as you can see, this is a white adhesive. It dries clear. Now we're going to finish this card. The dries clear adhesive has totally dried. And we can add even opaque glitters. These are transparent glitters on top. But we're going to add a transparent glitter in these dots. Now, these dots are not going exactly in each loop, but what is important is they are going every ½ inch. And I'm not afraid of these glitters mixing now that that under glitter first layer is dry. So now I have my little dots on there. Now, a wonderful thing to do is wait for this to dry. Add a bead of adhesive around here. You can do it on both sides. And I pre-cut these pearls, and I just on that wet adhesive, because it dries clear, you're never going to see it, I added these pearls on top. It was cut right here and right there, and then I added them on top there. And to finish the card, this was a pre-made bow from one of the fabric stores. Just put a dot of your dries clear adhesive on underneath and press on your bow, hold it for about 5 seconds, and you have a finished card. It's quite elegant. This is an outline stamp, as you can see. It's a very easy project to start with. Simply just add adhesive. We're working with the transparent colors at this time. Let's say we add it to 2 of the balloons, one at the top, one at the bottom. We'll pick a color. Add it to both spots. Important thing to do is put your adhesive work on. Let's say you want pink in 3 different places. Put all that adhesive work on at the same time. See, I keep twisting my wrist. Okay, we're going to go in here and get this balloon on. And maybe we'll coordinate it here. And these are transparent glitters, so you don't have to be too concerned about slightly getting outside of the lines. Now, I'm spot glittering in. I'm coming up to the next color, but not necessarily going over it. Let's fill these in. It's a very easy project. It's a good beginner project. Now let's take a green and get in here. Maybe switch the tray and get into the blue a little bit. Now, if you feel good about your writing, or you can put a party stamp in here and coordinate rainbow glittering it. Fast and easy. And darling. Easy to stamp on. We're working in the reggae glitters right now, which are fruity Caribbean colors. All our transparent glitters are from color number 85 to number 106. The other glitters are opaque glitters. The transparent glitters allow your inks from ink color or your paper color to shine through and influence it. I put this brush stroke heart by Posh on by stamping it in 2 directions. Now I start by the upper left-hand corner, simulating the same direction of motion as the heart. Now if I don't get all the way out to the sides, I'm just going to come in and pull the adhesive work toward the center. There's 2 ways of glittering this. One is to glitter in coordinated colors as the color is underneath the stamp, which is a vertical glittering, or we can glitter horizontally like I showed you earlier. So on this one, it's kind of yellow on that side, and then we're going to go to an orange, the hot pink. We're going to go over here to our lavender tray. It's the same colors underneath to the green. Now on this one, for a different effect, we'll go straight down the rainbow, but we'll glitter horizontally. We'll do a lazy 6. You see that? It's a lazy 6 and then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, my yellow is coming up too, but it's not flooding over the other colors. Put a couple stars on, some dots, and we'll spot glitter these. Turn the card in our hand. Choose a different color over there. We have a wonderful fast heart. Took us under a minute to do. Here's another beautiful heart by Magenta. Again, we can just go over it in the direction of the stamp. The reggae colors don't overpower your stamp. They just enhance. Coming right up to the edges. Doesn't have to be perfect, that adhesive work on there. And we're going to rainbow glitter it. Actually, I'm going to rainbow it, what the coordinating colors is underneath. To make your art a little more important, add a little crown. I'm touching down with the adhesive bottle, and then I'm just slightly, without squeezing, pulling that down to a point. And because this is pink in here, I'm going to put the yellow in first, and then go to a more intense color as I go out. A wonderful technique I just discovered is to take your sponge, add a little bit of water to it, and come in your stamp pad and add some color out. Add a little background color. And I took a little jar and put some adhesive in here and added about 30% water. Got my crystal tray, which is a clear. Added a little adhesive to the end of my brush, my sponge. Sponged it on. And while that's nice and wet, this liquefied adhesive is still adhesive, still strong. It's industrial strength. Adds a wonderful touch to a heart. Here's a wonderful card. This is stained glass. The way you begin with something like this is you start with the center of the flowers and work your way outward. Wipe off the tip. We're going to add the bright yellow to the center first. Now, if you try to work, I got the yellow in. Now let's work in the leaves so the yellow has a little bit of time to air dry. Now you can add a different color to each leaf. Or you can glitter each leaf in the same color. good to look at this card very closely in the beginning to see exactly what you want, what color. I'm going to put the center of the iris in the Malone. And the dark part of the iris. And then Nirvana. What I'm trying to do is play tonal values against each other, lights and darks, warms and cools. Fill in all the petals. And we'll put them in the amethyst. Now I'm going to put the yellow in different spots around the frame. So I put all my adhesive work in for that in the beginning at one time. Now I'm going to add different colors to this up at the top of the window, but I'll put all my adhesive work on at one time. See how it's coming along? Beautiful. Orange there, so I'll put purple next to the orange. It's better if you can bump up to the side of your stamp. Really cover that area. And there's a little leaf there that I missed. So because it's right on the inside, I'm going to spot glitter just a little bit off the tip of my spoon. When you're finished, and you let this dry completely, about an hour and a half on this type of paper. This is chrome coat. Then you can take your marker, you can either do that beforehand, and with a pass-down marker, fill in the background of the stained glass. It coordinates it, it pulls your window together. Birthdays are a big part of card giving. You can put someone's name at the top and personalize. This is a posh cake that was done with a rainbow stamp pad. It's easy enough just to fill in the frosting. Glitter is to bring attention to something. So frosting would be what would be most important in this stamp. Now I could rainbow glitter this, but because of the rainbow glittering on the stamp, I'm just going to add one color to the bottom and one color to the top. If you get too many rainbows going, they may fight each other. Put that one color in there. You don't want to get it too confusing. You want it also to help define what you're doing. Now, to make a candle, the bottle is horizontal in my hand, but I'm coming from the bottom of the candle toward the top. We can rainbow the candles if we like. To do a flame, a little dot, and we'll pull the dot up. And a base maybe on the cake. I use a lot of streamers, stars, and dots. So let's do that here. And rainbow glitter. So festive. You can put the child's birth date on the inside using the same tip. Now's a good time to talk about the different types of stock I've used in producing these cards. I did the rainbow writing on a coated stock that is not plastic coated. Anything you can stamp on, anything that you can emboss on, you can use this adhesive on. It's industrial strength. The shiny stocks are not all plastic coated. The dry time on a shiny stock takes about an hour and a half to 4 hours. It depends on the thickness of your line. On a chrome coat, it takes about half that amount of time, and on a recycled, about half again as much time. When you saw me smear the underscore when I was writing the rainbow words out, that may take 5 minutes. But the thicker areas on a coated stock, again, may take 4 hours. Let's say we have a butterfly card like this. Because there's so much adhesive, it may take an hour and a half to 2 hours for this to dry. Let's start this card. How do we build such a thing? First thing we do is outline this butterfly, starting with the thorax, and fill it in. Following the outline of the butterfly. Now, we're working in opaque glitters this time. The reggae glitters are transparent glitters. But the opaque glitters, whatever I stamp underneath, whatever color stamp pad I use, whether I've embossed it or I've used black or green, doesn't matter, it doesn't show through. So I don't have to follow my stamp verbatim. I can omit detail. You can just scrub right through the design. Okay, but again, it depends how fast you are in applying your adhesive as to when you glitter. If I wasn't very quick at this, maybe I'd only do the thorax and glitter it, a quarter of the wing and glitter it. Because I don't want to get my hand in this wet adhesive, I'm going to turn my card so I'm working with dry area and start again outlining. When this dries, you will be able to add any kind of glitter color on top as well. Black picks up other colors really easy. It pollutes very easy, as well as does Christmas green is easily polluted by any other colored gold or red, as are the transparent colors easily polluted. So any of these colors, you want them to dry completely. Now we'll take a dry one. Okay. Get rid of our black tray. Depending on how fast you can apply your adhesive, you can do 1/4 of your butterfly at a time or an entire half. I wouldn't suggest doing the entire butterfly because you do want to get the glitter on before your adhesive work dries. What I'm doing is I'm attaching the adhesive to the walls of the glitter. And I'm going to go right down the line in rainbow glitter, just as we did before. It's kind of going on diagonally. To the other half. Now, if you didn't want to do this black outline work, you could simply emboss it. Emboss the black in black, maybe a black tinselette, and use that for your outline. And then fill in with your glitter again. This is all very, very good, but to add a little fantasy to this butterfly, some immobile dots added on outside of the design help make it lighter. Now, one of the things I do often is cut off this front 1/4 inch of a card and apply Wonder Tape along the card, clip off each end of the Wonder Tape, peel off the strip, and again, just rainbow glitter your Wonder Tape. So that coordinates with your glitter on your card. Now, the thing about this adhesive that's so great is that it's permanently flexible. So you can cut this adhesive with scissors, or you can take a very sharp X-Acto. This is matte board I'm using underneath, and close cut along the wings. Now I'm going to slice in to the wing area, right through the adhesive. Up to the thorax, and starting on the other side. Coming into the wing. Now there's a few sections I need to go over a bit. I want to be careful not to rip it out of the card. Because it's permanently flexible, you can bend your wings out and flex them over your fingers. You've separated your wings. Wonderful. Three-dimensional butterfly. Let's take this beautiful armored horse by Carmen's Veranda and bring this to life. First, we start off doing the gold work. He's got a little male on his forehead. I'm doing the connections and get that in gold glitter. One of the things I do with certain stamps, though, is darken in an area before I start. For instance, like I'm going to add some shadow to his hoofs just to weight the stamp design down a little bit. Add some along the base of the saddle. Maybe in the saddle area, I'm going to darken the whole thing. Underneath his neck, underneath the rein, the eye, in his mouth. Add some weight to the end of the tail, the legs. Maybe in his belly. Okay, I'm going to put some aqua on there. Now we're going to just scratch in a little. I'm just using the tip to scratch. Add some of the red. Now, if you can do this, where you can get these dots on fast enough, put all the dots on and rainbow glitter it. If not, just put half of them on and rainbow glitter it. We'll start from the bottom of the rainbow and go up. Now, I'm letting the glitter fall off the edge of my spoon. Little tiny side slices. I can put all this adhesive work on at once, but glitter it twice. If you really don't want to get any color of the darker colors to mix with your gold, you put your golds on first and let them air dry a little bit if you don't want your colors to mix. So we're going to add a few of the dots in here in his collar. Because the adhesive work is at the top of the page, I'm turning the card upside down so the glitter has less distance to fall back into the tray. You notice while I'm working with this spoon, I'm going to skip the gold because the gold is the outline. I'm putting a little on. I turn the spoon and the card towards center and tap with the upside down spoon. Add a little bit of shoes to the horse. Now, I think it's always nice to go outside of the realm of the stamp and add something to it, be it dots, stars, streamers. Now, on this horse, we're going to add a plume. Starting at the top and squeezing a little bit, slightly squeezing and pulling towards center so you reduce the thickness of the adhesive line. And we'll flame glitter that in. It's quite exciting. Something that looks very good with glitter is satin bows. You might want to add a satin bow to his neck. Let's get a close-up of that. Very handsome horse. This is an outline stamp of mine. Simple shape. We're going to go right over the black line. We're working in opaque glitters, and so it doesn't matter what is underneath. We're covering up the black line. Now, it's easier to pull from the bottom to the top when you're doing a straight line that is directly in front of you. My wrist is on the table as I pull up. Okay, now to add a lot of glitter color to the center, we're going to go back and forth just like we do with the Posh brush stroke heart and block it in. One color glitter. There we have a solid cake that is glitter. I would let this dry. This one I didn't fill in the bottom skirting. That's okay, we'll put it to a different color. Let's put the skirting red. You can add more adhesive into that area. One of the exciting candles that I've devised are, those long birthday candles that they have on cakes. Let's put some on this cake. One, and then two to the right, and two to the left. Now the idea is we're going to cross over the three on the right, including the center. We're going to cross over three on the left, which also includes the center. Just see what happens. Cross, 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 and cross. They don't have to be the same length. I'm going to add flames. Dot and pull, dot and pull, dot and pull. Flames to all of them. Dot and pull up. Let's rainbow glitter this. Who says flames just have to be yellow? We're going to skip the blue. Cute little birthday cake. Quite exciting. Here's a wonderful little stamp. It's from Stamp Cabana. I embossed her. I used a black stamp pad and clear powder. Easy to do. Again, we know how to put little dots on. See, I push into the page, but glitter is for highlight. If I did her entirely in glitter, she would lose interest. So let's just do her highlights, top of her hat, top of her sleeves. Now, to separate the skirt, the front foreground from the background, maybe we'll do that foreground in all one color of glitter. And come off the card there a little bit. And add some orange. If you just don't get it in, add some. Again, I'm notorious for coming off the card. So let's add some motion to her about some spiral, something in dots that's coming off and making her look like she's dancing. Now, I got a couple barbells in here, I call them, where the adhesive attached to another dot. The nudgers are wonderful for cleaning up mistakes. Just flex it between your thumb and your first two fingers and simply correct the mistake by nudging it into position. Or if you need to, you can take a dot off completely. It's one of the tools of the art glittering system. Here's a black outline design of mine. I simply totally outline the cat and put on black glitter. This I need to let dry completely. The mood of the moment is maybe a miss you card. Flames and raindrops are the same thing. It's a dot and pull the adhesive work up. Card. And because the black is dry, we can just flood that whole area with glitter. Maybe a cute little raindrop card, a cat looking out the window. There's a technique that is blending within a stencil. Now how you do that is, this stencil card is blocks that are separated by space. So with this, I'm just putting a dot in the center, let's say, and we'll put a darker color for the center. What we want to try to do is create the volume of the flower coming from the center. It's creating illusion. The center would be darker. And within each section, we'll put a few colors every time we put adhesive work in. Maybe just a touch of the green, not much. Maybe I'll get my trays a little closer. And you do this in each section until you build up your entire design to where your card just flies with color. I took an additional piece of paper and coordinated with the colors on the inside. Very bright. And I close cut like I did with the butterfly, the edges. It's a beautiful card. Easter's great with glitter. I took this French basket, embossed it on the bunny and the duck, and filled them in with color. Now, to add some grass, just simply scratch with your tip. You don't want to squeeze a lot of adhesive. Ups and downs with your glue bottle. Maybe you want some grass down here for these guys to walk on. and flood it with color. Now I would let this dry so that the colors don't mix and the adhesive doesn't melt into the original adhesive. Then come in and just draw some ovals for eggs that are slightly on a different line from each other. And these are in a straight line, and we'll glitter all of these at the same time. Spot glittering each one. And then maybe we'll put another layer of eggs on. And maybe one on top, and 2, 3 in the grass. Let's add a bow at the top of the basket. It's simply an eyelet loop, wiggle, 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 wiggle. There you have some Easter egg basket card. Another wonderful occasion is Halloween. You can kind of see I've embossed on this pumpkin, but I used clear embossing powder and clear embossing fluid. Because what I want to do is just trace over this, and I don't want any other color underneath. So let's do that. Now, on this shiny black stock, or any of the coated stocks, the glitter has a tendency to cling to it where you don't have adhesive. That's only a temporary thing. It's due to humidity in the air, or maybe your fingerprints, or static electricity on the face of the card. When this is dry completely, you can take a soft brush and just brush off the excess glitter. If I was doing a lot of these, I would let this dry 15 minutes in between adding other colors, or let it dry completely, an hour. Okay, I'm going to put a little stem on because I wouldn't want my colors to dilute the intensity of the pumpkin. Now, these teeth are quite close, but I'm going to spot glitter this in. You can see it's a darling little pumpkin card. You can add leaf stamps to that, haunted house stamps. It's really cute. Now we're going to do our Christmas cards. And I'll show you how to do it from the beginning to the end with hot embossing, with tinselets and gold powders. Put my tree right in the middle, press down, put a dark green tinselet on. Take my heat tool.
take my dries clear adhesive again. Whoops. No, I'm not. First I'm going to put on my background. Little festive dots. Didn't get enough on, just put some more on. Clear this. It's always a good day when my embossing comes out just right. We're going to add some candles to this tree. Start at the top, pulling from the bottom of the candle up. Glitter red. Put a star on the top. Get rid of these. Flames. Put some silver glitter on that. Spotting this glitter in. Maybe some larger gold bulbs. Put a bow. This Victorian bulb I stamped on, embossed on the shape. I embossed on the pine nettle. And I'll show you how this comes to life. Following a detail line that's in the bulb. We got one more thing. Put this in here. Flood that with gold. Pulling from the bottom, and I'm cutting right through the lines. I can feel the paper all the way through. Now, to get into these needles, I'm going to skip as if you could see part of it. I'm going to flood this with the silver. And we're going to two-tone our greens on the nettles. I'm going to scratch in the underside, the shadow part of the nettles. And we'll put that dark green on that. Now, top part. When I was stamping on this pine needle, I used the dark green pigment pad, and then I used the green tinselets on top. That's so I could see where I was stamping what I had already done, as opposed to using the clear pigment pad. Get everything covered. I'm going to go to 3 shades of red. Well, let's put a little underscore thing here. Let's put dots in here. And a lighter shade, a pinker red, like red rosé or Victorian, and then maybe carnation. Add a little underscore. A little ribbon, 2 eyelets and a wide W. Then wiggle, 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 wiggle. Gives you a beautiful bow. Now let's put one more dot in there, and we'll add on this little pre-tied bow. You've got a wonderful Victorian card. We've been working with Designer's Dries Clear through the first part of the tape. The next product I want to show you is Designer's Dries White. It's for your white crystal glitter. It's for any of your reggae glitters, any of your transparent glitters, so that you can use them over a dark background or an intensely colored background, and they stay the same color. Because they're transparent, whatever is underneath shines through and influences them. If you have a blue background and you put a hot pink reggae color on using the Dries Clear, it will turn the hot pink reggae color to a purple. So we want this snow glitter to stay perfectly white on this pine bough that is so dark. So to do the pine bough with snow, I'm scratching the card the way the pine grows toward the center of the twig. It's like if you were snow, where would you be? You can use your glitter right on top of your tinselette. You can use your glitter and your Dries Clear adhesive right on top of your metallic embossing. You just flood it to get your snow. I'm sure you'll want snow on your tree at Christmas. Again, we're going to do what comes out at you. The ends of the tree branches. Now, I'm not just treating them like this. We're going to coordinate up and slide into the next branch. Let's add a little bit of snow to the picture. Again, your nudger, let's say you were working a little fast, and you would just take your nudger to push any strings back into position. Wonderful snow on your tree. Think of it this way as well. Look what you can do to that stamp. This is the same tree stamped on several different ways in the background with an elk stamp. And just using the top of the tree, I stamped in this area too to cover up as underbrush. So I used parts of this one stamp. This is only 2 stamps in this card. Green tinselette, dries white adhesive with crystal glitter. Here's another example of all the glitters put together. This adhesive works with your acrylic and your acetate cell, so you can glue it right in. We put the wreath on both sides of the glass. And added the bow. Now I'll show you how to make a grapevine wreath. Very simple, freehand. You might want to stamp the inside of the card. Just make loose circles. Then coming from the left to the right in curved lines, and on the outside from the left to the right in curved lines, and pushing into the paper, and then flood it with the color. Now I would let this dry completely. If I felt it wasn't totally symmetrical, just break in and add more. Now this is a stamp by Connors that instead of using silver embossing powders on it, I used the white opaque pad and clear embossing powders, which put the design in the background. And I filled in the 2 bells first. I let them air dry. I'm going to come back and fill the back leaves in and glitter them in the dark, deep forest green. Because those bells are dry, I can go right over it. Then the front ones we'll do in a lighter green. This is emerald in the front. Inside of the bow would be darker. We'll do that in red oak. The rest of the bow we'll do it in Christmas red, berry, or true red, which are lighter reds than the red oak. I had the bells dry so that I could put the little black lines in for the bells, and to do that I put 4 dots in, and then I, without squeezing, slide a line to connect it, and spot glitter in the black of the bells. Again, let's go outside of the design and add some motion with dots. Glitter them in silver. Now, I took this and mounted it on a silver card and then mounted that on a black card. Very rich looking. These are all coated stocks. Let's say you don't feel like using glitter that day. This is the same grapevine wreath, but I used reground, pulverized ultrafine coffee grounds and potpourris and spices from my cabinet. This is paprikas, and so the card has a wonderful scent. Now I'm going to show you a wonderful new product I have called 3D Embossit. It's to enhance your embossing. It's for the non-glitter look. But you can use glitters on top of it after you have heat cured your 3D Embossit with the embossing powders on it. I'll show you how that works. This is a very cursive type of calligraphy. So it's got the thin and thick lines, copperplate. We want to just go into the thicker areas, that which we want to bring attention to, that which stands out. We're going to just add a little 3D Embossit. Now, this was stamped on and heat cured, this original stamp, with metallic gold. As soon as I put it on, I flood it. Now, this has to dry completely. This might take an hour, even best 4 hours, or the next day to heat emboss it. I prepared one in advance to show you what happens. Because the 3D Embossit is three-dimensional, it takes a little longer to heat up. Then you can coordinate it with other stamping and have this wonderful calligraphy in the center of a card. This, by the way, is the same pine bough that we had. I was just using the end of the stamp all the way around with green tinselette. Another good example, so you can coordinate your envelopes too. Just use part of your stamp. It's pretty. Another good example is this tree. That's 3D Embossit on top of gold embossing. Start off with a regular tree that we've used here. Just like we did the dries white, add the 3D Embossit to the pine bough branches that come out at you. Add your 3D Embossit. Then I would let that dry to the next day. This one's already dry. Come in with your heat tool. Now I warm up the whole area. And sometimes I also, hard to do, hard to see, heat it from underneath as well. You don't want to burn the tops of your powder, the powder that's sitting on top. You really want that 3D to heat up. You see how it's changing? Once it's heat up underneath, You can come in on the top. And finish with your heat tool. You can see how wonderful that is. It's just beautiful. Now on top of this, you could add, this was with 3D Embossit and the gold embossing powders. But you could put your dries clear adhesive on, put dots on, and then glitter on top of that. I treated it by adding the same pearl beads that we added in the one heart and a little bow on top. Totally non-glitter look. This is one that was prepared in advance. And I want to show you, this is copper powder. The darker colors are copper powders. The leaves are in silver powders. And the flowers are in gold powders. What happens is this 3D Embossit comes out of the bottle three-dimensional. It doesn't puff up any more than what you see it as it comes out of the bottle. What it does is dry as a hard surface for the powders to melt over. How lustrous this is. It's just so beautiful and so easy to do. One of the things you've all asked me to show you how to do is emboss on Christmas balls. The Designer's Dries Clear adheres to glass and metal, so it works wonderfully with Christmas balls. This is how I do it. Take off this metal piece. That's to allow for this to be a chimney for the heat. Take a little stamp. And I'm rolling the stamp so all of the surfaces hit the surface of the ball. Now, one of the other things you can use your nudger for is for moving around embossing powders. It works wonderfully instead of a brush. Now, from there, that was gold embossing powder. Now, I'm going to write a name on the side. So, I keep my arms close to my sides. I've got my wrist resting on the table. And holding it between your fingers at the top and your thumb at the bottom. Write someone's name. And glitter it. From there I put maybe simulated holly Or maybe you could stamp on holly. There are small stamps that are holly. And if you stamp them on or you emboss them on, I would suggest embossing them in a green tinselette. Maybe let's put some dots in there. And we put silver glitter on. It's adorable, and you can put the date on the other side too, the year. One of the last things I wanted to show you, these are the Easter eggs. You can get at Walmart, Kmart, any of your craft stores. These are the kind that pull apart. And what I did was I squirt glue on this side, glittered it, smeared it around with my finger, and I'll show you, and let it dry this way. And once that's dry that way, then we're going to turn it over, put Designer's Dries Clear on, or you could use Designer's Dries White and use your Reggae glitters, and smear this on. And maybe glitter it in a different color. And I just took a little jar, or you can either set it in your glitter tray like that to dry. When it's dry, you can fill in maybe some of the bald spots. Okay. And what you'll have at the end is a little glittered Easter egg that you can write somebody's name on. And this glitter will not come off. You can decorate it with ribbons and all kinds of things. I want to thank you for letting me show you all of this today. This has been a dream come true after 12 years of working with this glitter and developing this process. And I am so pleased that you enjoy it. I hope you have many days of happy glittering, coordinating colors, doing gift wrappings, packages, clocks, wallpaper, anything your heart desires. I hope you sprinkle your world with glitter. Have a great day.